tie doing here? It's got a mind of its own. You know?
I saw several ties like that today. Almost. I got one that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't see a black one. I like black. Okay. The last time I saw you, we were doing the junket for Red Dawn.
Oh yeah, I didn't know.
How have you changed in those couple of years?
I think I went through that transitional period from like, you know, that boyhood stage to like early manhood, or so people have told me. You know, it's like there's a certain growth period that takes place from like 18 to 21. I was 18 when you saw me. I'm 21 now. It just comes through experience in film and life in general. You know.
Do you feel a lot older having done this film?
Yeah, I think it put a few gray hairs on me, so to say.
I understand you thought this was going to be probably a little rugged, but not so tough as it really turned out to be.
No, I was a little bit misled personally. I thought, you know, as far as the training camp goes and the actual production, yeah, I thought we'd show up, you know, barracks, bunk beds, radios, cold showers, hot meals. Wrong. You know, welcome to reality, young man. I was issued my gear, and the 32 of us were told to dig in an open field, make foxholes. Welcome to your home for the next 2 weeks.
Do you think, in looking back, that was a proper decision for the people who made this film to do, to make you guys rough it?
Oh yeah, yeah. The film wouldn't have been half as realistic if we didn't go through the rigorous training that they established for us. But it was tough for Captain Dale Dye, who plays Captain Harris in the film. He's a USMC retired. The guy's a lifer, you know. He had to do in 2 weeks what he normally had 8 to 10 to do during the war. But at the end of those 2 weeks, he said, guys, if you give me one more week, I'll take you maggots out there and let you back me in combat, you know.
What were your thoughts on Vietnam? It was a little bit before your time. But
yeah.
You were probably somehow, everybody knows somebody who's either in the war, affected by the war, have a family member or something.
Yeah, I was 3 years old when Platoon takes place, but I had a buddy who was a vet who, when he came back, he had to sit behind the police firing range and feel live rounds going over his head just for that rush. And I thought, that's insane, because, you know, I can't imagine what they went through for him to come back with that on his mind, you know. And when I did the film and it touched on certain elements of what the men experienced, I could understand that reestablishing themselves into the real world, so to say, back into society, must have been hell, and it still is for some of them 17 years later, you know.
This is an anti-war movie, correct?
Sure.
Do you feel, and this is a personal opinion of mine, I think this movie ought to be shown in many ways like a drunk driving movie, that everyone, whether they want to or not, should have to see it to really get a picture of what war is.
I can agree with that, yeah, and I hope when they do see it, they can understand that we have to prevent future situations of similar nature in Central America, so to say, because guys my age can see these characters and these people that we're portraying and hope not to become them in realistic settings, you know.
But shouldn't the family of the would-be enemy have to see this film too, to make that whole thing work? Because you can't turn everybody, you know, on one side into a group of pacifists. That's
been the problem we've been having for thousands of years, hasn't it? I mean, or Vietnam never would have occurred, right?
That's right. How's this going to affect your career, you think? People going to look at you differently now in roles?
I don't know. Maybe generate a little more respect, maybe not. Maybe I'll get some work from it, maybe not. I'm open to find out. I'm not going to bank on it. I'm not going to say, well, shit, this is going to put me over the top, you know. But I'll just play it by ear and take it a day at a time, see what happens.
But this was a very meaty role.
Yeah.
As opposed to, you know, a lot of things that are fun and have their own purpose, but this is a very deep thing.
Yeah, it wasn't as deep on paper, I guess, as it came off on film, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would think the script in the dialogue section wouldn't be that strong to read. It's really a visual film, but it's, you know, you having to be an actor without so much dialogue, you're having to act visually. Right,
yeah, well, we didn't change a whole lot, because if you've got a great script, the idea is to make a film better than that great script, or at least as good. And just based on the reaction, I guess we've achieved that, you know.
It's powerful is the key word.
Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Lost tape, please.
Yeah, it'd be tough to watch.
Really?
I don't think a lot of Vietnam veterans can handle seeing this movie. It's too real.
Yeah.
Look, have you heard any kind of reaction, you know, from people that have seen it other than just friends and things, other kinds of people?
Vets, yeah.
Yeah. What have they said about it?
A couple of them were weeping.
Mm-hmm.